So good morning and welcome, Paul. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. So welcome to the Online Entrepreneur Academy podcast. Let me hand over to you, and could you tell our audience of solopreneurs, entrepreneurs a little bit about you and the amazing things you're doing out there for security?
Of course I can. Of course I can. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. Anyone that's listening to this, thank you for taking time out to have a listen to some weird old magician who just messes about for a living. I love it. So I'm Paul Newton. My company is called Mental Theft. What do? I'm a magician and a mind reader, but I have a very special niche. I use my mind reading skills and tricks to steal people's usernames, passwords, credit card PIN numbers, their mother's maiden name, their first pet dog's name, the name of the road they grew up on. I steal all of that stuff for a couple of reasons. Number one, I find it quite funny when it works, okay? Because you get people just saying, you'll never get away with that. It will never happen. And it amuses me, something rotten. And number two, it's a massive lesson. If I can do this stuff while I'm warning people that I do this, what are the scumbags getting away with while they try and stay hidden? And that's my big bugbear. That's the thing that really riles me up and gets me on my soapbox. And Sarah, I will apologize to you, Susan, because if I get on that soapbox and don't shut up, please do stop me, because
I don't think I'm going to stop you. You're an amazing storyteller.
thank you very much. Oh, that's nice. That's nice to hear on a lovely, because right, we're recording this in the morning, ladies and gents, okay, and I'm a natural entertainer, so I don't do mornings very well.
I didn't know.
This is the problem. The problem is going to be that my brain might not engage, and I might just go off on one about things that annoy me. So stop me if you want to, okay?
Will do for sure, but I don't think that's going to happen. Go for it.
Right, so let me tell you about how the magic stuff is great, and I love being a magician, and it's been my sole income for, oh my word, nearly 20 years now. I was in work, I had proper jobs, and I was running magic on the side. But when my daughter was born, the magic just took over, because I was doing a full-time job Monday to Friday, and then I was doing magic at weekends, which, when it's you as a couple and you're just trying to get money together to buy a house, that's fine. It's understandable. But when there was this little human being that I wanted to be around and I wanted to cuddle a lot, and I nearly quit magic. But then thankfully, my lovely wife turned around and she said, don't be an idiot. You love doing magic. You earn good money doing it. Quit the job. And I'll be honest with you, Susan, the only thing that I miss from that now is the company car. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different lifestyle, and I'd love it to bits. But yeah, I do magic tricks and I earn money from it. Now, while I'm out doing magic tricks, I meet some amazing people.
Sure.
About 5 years ago now, I was doing a military gig. And I don't know how you feel about our military, but actually it fills me with an immense amount of pride that they invite me to entertain the troops. You know, yeah, you've got these people who put their lives on the line to protect all of us and other countries, okay?
Sure.
And the fact that they asked me to come in to help them let their hair down and relax, that's just amazing, okay? So I can't say exactly where I was, but I was very far away from home, and I was doing a gig for the military. I walked up to this one table. There was 6 people at this table, 3 guys, 3 girls, dressed in their finery. They had loads of medals on their chests, amazing people. And I'm doing the normal close-up magic, okay? So I'm doing things with elastic bands. I'm making sponge balls appear and disappear, and some card tricks. And one of these guys, 5 of them were absolutely lovely. One of them was an annoying git. Okay, he just was saying things like magic's not real. You can't do that. That's not possible. Even though he's watching me do things. I mean, this is the type of person that would even say Santa's not real. And yeah, right. For everyone that's listening right now, Santa is 100% real. Okay, he's a magician as well. I love him to bits. He's brilliant. Now, he annoyed me so much that I thought, right, I'm going to have you, and I'm going to wind you up something rotten. So while I was doing the close-up stuff, I did mind reading on him. And for some reason, something in my head made me not go for the normal stuff, but it made me go for stuff that would scare the life out of it. So I did. I nicked all the things that I listed earlier. I got his username and his password for his work computer. I got his PIN number for his favorite credit card. I got his mother's maiden name and his first pet dog's name. And I was writing these down on a piece of card and people couldn't see while I'm doing magic tricks. Okay. And I finished at the table and I turned around to all of them. I said, 5 of you have been absolutely lovely. 1 of you is an annoying git and he knows that magic's not real. So to that person, can you just have a look at this card and tell me how well I did? Because you know mind reading's not possible, right? And seriously, he looked at this card. His face went white. He swore at me a lot. And then I said, but hold on, don't tell your friends exactly what's written down. Tell them what type of information and then tell them how well I did. And he listed the type of information.
Goodness me.
And yeah, he just looked at me and he said, you've got it 100% correct.
That is mind-blowing, I'm going to say it.
Yeah. And so for me, I was still just being entertainer poorly, you know, I was still just doing it for laughs and applause. And I said, brilliant. Thanks a lot, ladies and gents. I've got to go and entertain other people. Otherwise I'll get sacked. 5 of you have been lovely. 1 of you has been a git. I'm Paul. I'll see you later. And I walked off. I got about 20 meters from that table. The guy ran up behind me. He spun me around on the spot and he said, I want to have a word with you. Now,
oops.
Yeah. Now, I know you've seen me before, and right now I'm on the nice little screen, so you can only see my head and my shoulders. I'm quite a big lad, okay? I'm not easy to spin round on the spot.
No, I would say that.
And in my head, the things that went through my head were it was utter fear, okay? Because I'm now thinking, this guy's huge. He's just spun me around on a spot. I'm the only person in a room full of 400-ish people. I'm the only one that is not armed. And I'm about to get into a fight with one of them. This is not good, okay?
Not good odds.
No, I honestly, the panic that went through me in that second was unreal. And then he said something to me that just melted my world. He looked at me and he said, is mind reading real? Now he's gone from magic's not possible, it's a load of rubbish, you can't do this stuff, to believing that I can read people's minds without any help or assistance. Okay. So for me, I've now gone from fear and panic to, I can mess with you a bit more, can I?
Wonderful.
Why not? So I did. And I said, right, I'll ask you 3 questions. If you're completely honest with the answers, you will have your answer as to if mind reading's real or not. And he went, okay. And you could tell he was so into this now. He was still scared, but he's now believing that I can do all of this stuff. I said, right, question 1, could I have brought anyone into this base with me? And you know, maybe they're feeding me information through an earpiece or something like that. And he just went, no, that's not possible. I know the guys that work on the gate, you know, we check your vehicles, we check you out. We've done a background check on you. There is no way you've brought anyone in on it. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Question 2, would the people at your table have helped me and given me that information rather than help you and keep you secure? No way. I trust those guys with my life on a daily basis. I know all of them inside out. No way. I went, brilliant. Okay, so there's no way I could get that stuff. Question 3 then. If you've answered honestly to the first 2 questions, how can mind reading not be real? And seriously, he went whiter. He swore at me a load more. And, you know, he started getting panicky again. And then he said something that it literally changed my world on the spot. Okay. I've gone from being very defensive, very aggressive, very panicky that this guy's going to start a fight with me to, oh my word, what have I done? He looked at me and he said, with your skills, can you imagine what damage you could do to anyone in the English speaking world?
Yes, what an observation.
Yeah. Now he's obviously been thinking about this since I got him at the table. I'm now stood there going, I hadn't thought of it that way.
No,
I've just been doing
why
this.
would you?
Yeah. Now, right. So I said that gig was quite far from home. I think travel time back to my home was something like 5 or 6 hours. Okay. And it was a late at night gig. And my wife's used to me getting home early hours in the morning from a late gig. And by the way, if she's listening, she is way out of my league. She's awesome and she's lovely. So if I've done a really late night gig, what she'll do is she'll make sure that the daughter and the dog are away, and I can sleep the next day. Next morning, I couldn't sleep. I mean, I literally got home, I fell down for a couple of hours, and then I'm wide awake.
Ideas flowing, huh?
Yeah, and it's just spinning in my head, and it won't stop. And I turned around to my wife, and I said, "Look, I've got this idea. I need to talk it through with my mate Jesse." Jesse is a marketing manager for a great IT company, and he's very on the ball with business, and he's one of those people that just has off the wall ideas that you just go, "This is going to work." So yeah, I said, I need to have a chat with Jesse. You're right. If I disappear for a few hours, I've got to get this off my chest and talk it through with someone. I called Jesse up and I said, "Jesse, look, I've got an idea. I don't want to share it on the phone yet because it's spinning in my head too much. Can I come over? We'll sit down at yours. I'll tell you the idea. And your job, Jesse, is to tell me no. Your job is to tell me this is ridiculous because, I'm a magician in the entertainment world and it's doing quite well. Okay, so I'm already breaking the mold anyway. So I'm an entertainer who's earning a good living. You don't get that many of them. Okay,
it's a tough world, isn't it? For sure.
It really, really is. So I go over to Jesse's house. I've taken my laptop with me because, we might need to do some work. Sat down at his kitchen table and I told him the idea. I said, "What about a mind reader that steals personal information and breaks into your bank accounts?" And he just went, "What?"
I can imagine that's what he said.
And I said, "Think about it. If I go on stage and I tell stories about how I got here, and I tell people about the military thing, and then as I'm doing this career, Jesse, as I'm talking to people about stealing personal information, I can teach them about cyber, and I can teach them about security, and I can show them ways that they can secure themselves. But I'm not like all the other cyber speakers who are just talking about ones and zeros in the router and how many megabytes this VPN can stop you from being seen. And I'm not doing all that. I'm telling stories of stuff that I'm actually going to steal in real life." And he's just going, "That's amazing." And then he sort of stopped and he went, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "Jesse, I've been doing this for about 30 years, but I've never aimed it at personal information."
Of course.
And he's like, "This is brilliant." And I was like, no, that's not your job. Okay.
Tell me no.
You're meant to tell me no. Don't concentrate on this, Paul. And he went, "We could have a website set up in a couple of minutes. We could aim at getting you speaking gigs, and that's the main focus of the business. While on the side, we can actually be attacking companies and people with their permission and with the promise that we'll give everything back, and then we can tell them where all the flaws are." Oh my word, this is amazing. And I'm still sat there going, no, no, you're meant
Tell
to
me
say
no.
And he's just like, "No, Paul, this is brilliant.
It's
This can
unique.
help a lot of people." And yeah, we started researching other cyber speakers, and do you know what? It's a dry subject. It's a tough subject. Making cyber security interesting is so hard. It is so hard that one time I researched a guy who was brilliant, by the way. His factual information was amazing, but the talk was so boring. I saw 3 people with pillows at the back of the audience.
Goodness me.
Yeah. So my job really now is I've been allowed to go on some amazing penetration tests of businesses. I've got a team that are just absolutely amazing. I mean, my team is so diverse, it's ridiculous. We've got ex-military. We've got a lady that, she'll put on a pregnancy vest and everyone will help her get into top security buildings. We've got guys that can. One of my guys hacked a company by going in through their aircon system. What the hell? How? And they're amazing. But my job isn't to be. My job is the social engineering side. Okay, so when we look at an attack, when we look at a business, if there's people to bypass without using any force, without using anything harsh like that, I'll bypass the people, because I've been doing this for years with audiences of thousands sat in front of me trying to figure it out. And to me, this is just natural. So yeah, mental theft properly started about 5 years ago
Gosh.
because an army officer got scared and then told me how serious what I can do could actually be.
Yeah. I mean, what a light bulb moment, I suppose, a bit of a corny phrase, but really, and
It
and
really was. You
yeah,
know, when somebody says something to you, and it was just that moment of, do you realize what you can do? And I was still in entertainer head, and I'm going, yeah, I can make people laugh and clap and they have fun. It's great. And he went, no, you could attack some of the biggest organizations and they wouldn't even see it coming.
yeah, so true. And that's it, isn't it? When you say entertaining and the subject's been dry and boring, because it's imparting that information, and we're all guilty, aren't we? I was speaking to myself anyway of, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I've got to go through dry manuals or instruction sheets to do it, and we put it to one side because it's the
Yeah.
least desirable job.
This is it. You think about cybersecurity. Okay, it's run by a lot of very clever people who are
Mm,
very great at technology.
mm,
And this means they are the people who are detail orientated. They cross the T's, they dot the I's. They need to make sure everything is perfect before they hit the go button. Okay. I come at it from an entertainer's point of view. I want to make it interesting. I want people to listen. I want them to go, what did he just do? How the hell did he just do that?
mm,
And then I give them a lesson. And then it's a fine balance, mate. But if you can have entertainment, if you can have people laughing and smiling and applauding, and then you go, now this is why it's important, and then teach them a lesson about a company that got scammed out of 150 grand and it took the whole company down. So
yeah,
that's now 20 people out of jobs. A company that
mm,
was over 100 years old gone because some scumbag managed to get someone's password. And this is how we could have stopped it. And you put it into human terms of how we
yeah.
could stop it. And, you know, the cost of stopping it would have been, you get cyber insurance for 300 quid a year. And it would have covered them for the whole 150 grand and they would still be running. Those 20 people wouldn't have lost their jobs just before Christmas.
That's really really tragic, isn't it?
It
Really.
is. And right, I'm gonna give two big lessons right now. Okay,
Yeah,
actually maybe
please.
three. Two massive lessons. Number one, if you're not using a password manager, please go use one. Okay,
Mm,
you can have a look on my website if you want. I've got lists of different ones that I think are great. I'm not associated to any of them. I don't earn money out of them. Maybe I should change that. I don't know, but
maybe you should.
yeah,
No,
I
that's great. And we'll put them in the show notes. So just look down
brilliant.
in the show notes and you're going to see these. Go ahead, Paul.
Password manager, please use them. These password managers are much better than the human brain. Okay. I don't want you using passwords that are associated with each other in different places. And if you use the same password in more than one place, oh my word, I can attack you so easy. Right? A password manager will give you all unique passwords for every account you have between 25 and 50 characters that are random. A scumbag will never figure them out. Okay. They can research you, but they will never work out your passwords.
Interesting.
Number two, I want you to turn on multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication on every online account you have.
Really? Wow.
I want it on your emails. I want it on all of your financial stuff. So your banks, your credit cards. I want it on your Facebook, because anytime a new device tries to log in to your Facebook, it will ping you a text or an email saying, is this really you? We're not giving access until you say it's really you.
Mhm.
Just those two things. Right. I was at a very big cyber conference 2 weeks ago. Some of the people that are in there were absolute geniuses. One of them is, he used to be on the FBI's most wanted list. Me and him got on far too well. That's a bit scary. But these geniuses all around us. And I'm sat there going, I'm just an idiot who does magic tricks. Okay. But they're all going, no, you've got something special. And we're talking about stuff. And one of these guys, he said to me, look, if people just did those two things, we think that would wipe out 98% of the scams that are going on.
That is massive because the scams, as we all know, are everywhere. And
Isn't it? Isn't
I
that
guess
just,
we'll spot them, but we don't. We
yeah.
can't.
So those two things, get a password manager. You can get free ones, you can get paid for ones. I quite like the paid for ones because that means those companies are reinvesting to make themselves stronger and stronger. I get that. You know, the multi-factor authentication, do that. And like I mentioned in the story earlier, if you've got a small or medium or even a massive business, get cyber insurance.
I didn't even know such thing existed, and I'm someone who insures everything. I take no
Honestly,
chances.
so, right. So
Wow.
my company is very small, but
Yeah.
because of what I do, we're quite high risk because I'm annoying a lot of scammers. That's fair enough. The insurance had to take that into account. I won't say which insurance company I'm with, but they're very good, and I know they're good because I've seen how they deal with breaches. I've seen how they deal with companies that get taken for a ride. Okay. But yeah, my insurance policy is £250 a year.
It's peanuts, isn't it, compared to
Yeah.
what? And sorry, speaking for a very uninformed, uneducated standpoint on these issues, people are concerned about GDPR. So does this sort of insurance cover breaches that would then release
Yeah, right. The
personal
nice thing
information?
is, if you go for a good insurance, okay, and for this bit, you might have to put price aside for one moment, because you could be
Sure.
talking about 30% difference. But
Yeah.
in my case, for a small business, you're only talking about 250 quid. So a 30% difference isn't that bad.
No.
But the good companies, they will give you a list of things that you have to do before you're allowed the insurance.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So things like a good password manager, funnily enough. Because if we can set you up with these things, then your risk becomes lower. Because think about what my mate said, 98% of people, less chance of getting scammed if you've done A, B, C, D, and E. That's what the insurance companies want in place. So they're kind of forcing you into becoming stronger anyway. So there's less chance they'll have to pay out. Now, right, this scam happened literally a couple of weeks ago. If you have a Facebook account for your business, please be careful. There are ways that I won't teach today, but I could start up a new Instagram account and I can connect that to a Facebook business page without your knowledge. Once I've done that, that means if you have a credit card or a debit card associated to that account that you're buying adverts for example, I can now pretend to be an admin and buy a load of adverts in your name. Okay. So this small company that I know that had a Facebook business page, the Instagram way of taking it over was used. They've gone in there, they've taken over the business account on Facebook. They couldn't see all of the credit card details to steal them and spend the money elsewhere. So what they've done is they've bought loads of adverts for things that you would not want to be associated with. Okay. They are possibly buying those adverts from friends of theirs, so they're earning money that way. They're possibly going to be earning a commission on anyone who buys from those adverts, so they're earning money that way. And what's the reputation damage to you if your business is squeaky clean and doing things very wholesome, okay? Then all of a sudden you're putting out adverts for certain toys of certain types that are nothing to do with you at all and would actually make you go, we would never do this.
Yes.
What's that going to do to your reputation? Now, add into that, how many of your customers speak to you through that Facebook account? Because they've just got access to all of them. Anyone that's ever said, I'll buy that through your social media, they've got their details. Right. So for this one-man band, okay, and this was just a couple of weeks ago, they did have insurance. I'm so grateful they had insurance.
Yes.
They'd done £45,000 in adverts.
That is
from
massive.
a business account on
From
somebody
one
else.
person, a one-man show.
Now, so there's all the money that's gone out for adverts. Within, I think it was an hour of this being reported, the insurance company had specialists looking at the account. Okay. The next day, there was a Zoom call with 8 people on it. The business owner, the person who put the insurance together, the person that's in charge of the insurance payouts from the company, and a load of IT bots. Now, these are forensic IT guys, and they've gone into their Zoom call and gone, we think this, this, and this has happened. Do we have your permission to now attack your account, try and regain control, and try and change everything? Yes, of course you do. And they went for it. These guys got control of the account back. Okay. I'm not being funny here. I would not have been able to do that. These guys are geniuses in what they do. They've got control of the account back. They've then done forensics to work out what happened, why it happened, how they got in there, how to prevent it ever in the future. This job will actually help a load of other people that own businesses, because these IT guys are learning every time they see a new scam.
Yeah, 100%. And
At the last count, the cost of everything that's been done to get this business back up and running, and this is a small business, don't get me wrong, it earns a good income and it pays this person's family bills and their mortgage. The cost at the last count was £120,000.
wow, which no small business owner can afford off
No.
their own bat.
How could we can't do that? I couldn't do that. I couldn't suddenly come up with 120 grand.
No.
But
Wow,
yeah,
that just shows the value, as we all know, of having insurance. When you were talking earlier, I was thinking it's a bit like your house insurance. I totally understand why my house wants a certain lock on the door. If I'm going to leave my front door open, why would they insure me?
Do you know what? That's a great analogy. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
If on our house, okay, my house, I live in a fairly nice house. I love living here. We've got really nice neighbours. Our most nuisance neighbour is a little old lady next door who keeps offering us tea. I mean, it's a nice place, okay? If I looked at this house and we took off the burglar alarm that's at the front, okay, so there's now no flashy light, there's no burglar alarm on there. If we took out a couple of the windows and just make nice big holes, if we took the front door off, right, no locks, you know, why have a lock? Let's take the front door off completely.
Oh.
All of a sudden, which house along the whole street a burglar's going to walk into?
Well, clearly the one that says come in.
Yeah. Now let's change it a bit. Let's tell you what I've actually got in the house. We do have windows, okay? They're all double glazed windows and quite fairly secure. We do have doors blocking up these big, you know, man-sized holes. We do have a burglar alarm. It's got a little flashy light on it. We also have a dog, okay?
Great.
And if anyone comes near our door, don't get me wrong, the delivery driver that knows him well gets on really well with my dog, because my dog goes, oh, he's a friend. I like him. It's good. Anyone comes near our front door, the dog goes ballistic. So all of a sudden, which house are you going for now?
It's definitely not going to be this one.
No, because if you ever come to my house, okay, and we invite you in, and I'll give you a treat for the dog. If you like dogs, I'll give you a treat for the dog. If you don't like dogs, he'll get locked in the kitchen, okay? But I give you a treat for the dog. The dog then learns that you're a nice person. And he goes, oh, she's one of us. She's allowed in. That's all right then. And, you know, it flips to the other side where you've got this dog that just kind of goes, can I just sit on your lap now? Okay. But you knowing that is fine. But if a burglar hears a dog going ballistic and going, if you come in that door, I'm going to have you.
Yeah.
Is it really worth trying to get into the house to steal
Not when there are easier houses in the street in this metaphor, no.
No, because it's not about, okay, it will always be possible to attack you and any business that you own, okay? But as a scammer, as a scumbag thief, I've got to make business choices. I'm going for the easy hits and I'm getting out as quick as I can.
In and out, yeah. So why, it begs the question, I'm asking myself, why am I inviting them in? And here I am sitting, I know my password's secure. I'm not even going to ask you because I know you'll work it out. But, but you know, the people listening, let's not be arrogant. Let's take the advice.
Yeah, and I mean, we spoke about this before we started. I know that most businesses are panicking about their cybersecurity, but they don't know what to do. So number one, ask me questions. I really don't mind, okay? Whether it's through my website, whether it's through our Facebook page, whether it's through LinkedIn, ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out for you.
It does, yeah.
Because I seem to be making waves by happily being the person that doesn't matter. I don't care how stupid a question is. I don't care if you think it's easy. That's fine. I just want you to know.
Yeah, amazing. And as you said, Paul, we were talking before we started recording, and your website, I mean, it's just got everything there, and I'm sure it delivers in a way that we, you know, the man and woman in the street can understand, because that's it. I think we tend to be, whatever our area of expertise, we're happy with. When it's not our area of expertise, we're a little bit nervous, a little bit scared. We don't want to look stupid. But as you say, so like no question is stupid. And I don't know, I find sometimes in business, what someone perceives as a simple question, I'm thinking, that is an amazing question. Why has no one ever asked that before? Why haven't I answered that before? Why haven't I put it out there?
Yeah. And you're right. I can never know what questions are needed to be answered. Don't get me wrong. I can go through the basics and I can help you with as much as I can. But isn't it just gorgeous sometimes when someone turns around and goes, yeah, but I don't know how to change this bit here. And then you go, well, hold on, neither do I. Where did that come from? I'm going to find out because I've got the experts in my pocket or, my phone, but
Exactly.
I've never needed to know that. That's amazing. I'd like that. So please ask me questions.
Yeah.
It'll either be me or one of my team that will come back to you as quick as we can and help you. But, there are companies out there that can't afford these consultants that are $3,000 a day to come and sort out your stuff.
This is it. And I think this is what terrifies the small business owner, because obviously, or people who, and a lot of people have got a side hustle these days, which is fantastic. And hopefully one day their passion will be their business and they can spend their time doing that. But it's either time or money, or is this small business that I'm running, starting up, will it continue? Do I invest a lot of money in it? And clearly we must protect ourselves and protect our potential clients. The thing I hear most often these days is what you've just said. I've lost my Facebook account. Someone is using it. Someone is sending out messages from my account. And I guess it comes back to password security. Would I be right in saying that?
It does. It comes back to password security, keeping an eye on the activity within your account and things like that. But it's right. The thing that really worries me about any form of social media, I've picked on Facebook a lot, but this happens in LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok accounts. If I attack them, there's a reason for it. Okay, there's a reason behind it. That reason normally is, first of all, I'm going to look for any financials that you've left blatantly within that account. So if you've left your credit card details in there because you want to make the purchases easy, then I'm going for those details. A lot of the times you can see between 50 and 80% of the credit card details. So I'm going to scare you for a second now. Let's say on one of your social media accounts, there's a lot of the information, but there's not the 3 digits that's on the back of your card. Okay. So now I know your phone number because you're a business and you're easy to find. I know most of your card details because I've found them within your account and I've not done anything dodgy yet. So you still don't know you're hacked. Okay. I'm in your account and just watching. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a phone call, right? I'm going to call you at your business and say to you, hi, I work for your bank account and I'm a little bit worried about your social media. We believe somebody's got into your social media and they're checking this, this, and this, and they might have your credit card details. Now, to prove who I am, I'm just going to give you some of your information, and this might be your postcode. It might be a part of your home address. It might be the 16 digits of your credit card to make you believe that I know all of this stuff.
Right.
Now, I can't talk about this anymore with you unless you give me the security code on the back of the card.
Goodness, and people accept it. And maybe because we've got busy lives, we're in the middle of going somewhere. Oh gosh, I've got to deal with this. Let's do this quickly.
I need to give you enough to be believable, okay? I need to give you enough to get you scared. What every scammer wants you to do is make quick choices under fear pressure.
Yes.
Okay? I'm now dangling right in front of you that your company might get wiped out if you don't give me permission to look at this quickly.
Wow. No wonder why banks keep sending us emails saying we never, but it's the other way around. They say we will never ask you for information. That is very clever, to be told the information.
Yeah. Now, right. Okay. I promise I wouldn't go nuts on the cyber advice because I find it boring and annoying, but
not the way you explain it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me.
No, really, sincerely.
On this one, if you ever get any phone calls about anything financial at all, so whether it's social media accounts, whether it's your bank, whether it's your credit card, I don't care which it is, here is your stock answer. I don't tell information to people I don't know. Okay? I will not give you any information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up this phone call. I'm going to call you from another phone that I trust, and you only call the phone number that is on the back of your credit card or the back of your debit card. Okay. Now, if they're good, what they'll do is they'll say, well done, Mr. Newton. That's the perfect way to deal with this. I'm going to write a load of notes on your account. So when you do call back, Just say to them which department that they want you to get in touch with. So you can call back and go, I've been told to call the fraud department. And they will put you straight through. You then say, this is me, this is my account. There should be notes on my account saying why I just got a phone call. Right. Here's worst case scenario. That person then goes, there's nothing on your account and we didn't call you today. Why, you just dodged a scam.
Yeah, 100%. And as you say, the ethical caller will be very happy that you have taken those procedures.
The ethical caller will say, that's brilliant, Mr. Newton. That is perfect. Thank you so much and well done. Okay. I'm going to put a load of notes onto your account. You can talk to anyone in our department. They will know exactly what I needed to talk to you about, and we will get this sorted.
And you know that I was slightly irritated the other day when I had a call from the bank, and I had been into the bank to deal with a certain issue, nothing to do with security. And they called me back and said, left a message, which was great. Please call us on any of the numbers that you regularly use. I thought, why didn't you leave me a number? Now I know why.
Yeah.
Because I need to choose the number.
They train you to listen to the phone number that the caller is, that the person's giving, then what are they actually training us to do? To just comply and follow whatever the caller is saying.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's really, that's going to help so many of us, I feel sure. Well, I know it's a Saturday morning we're recording, so thank you for your time. Can I ask you one thing that keeps popping up?
Yeah.
And if it's a long answer, say, you know, whatever. But a lot of us have, you know, social media accounts, and then we need someone to run our ads. And it's always been a bit scary to me. Why am I handing over my account in effect to someone? So are we actually handing our account over to the admin, the Facebook manager, for example? Because and also a lot of colleagues have had, not because of this reason, but I'm reading in social media groups, you know, as I said before, my account has been hacked. So that's my question. Sorry, I'm talking too much, but you know what I'm asking.
Great question. And actually, brilliant question. I haven't been asked that question by anyone, and I'd like that. That's a good one. And hopefully, if you don't mind, I'm going to add that into my list of things that I talk about.
Please do, because it is, well, I'm sure a lot of people thinking about it.
Right. Okay. Couple of things on social media accounts. If you own a business page or if you own a page of any sort, they will normally allow you to have admins or mods, depending on the language they use. Okay. Yeah, this is a great facility. Please do it. And I'm going to tell you a few reasons to do this. Number one, if your personal social media account ever gets wiped out for some reason, if you get hacked and you get stopped, or if you do something that entity doesn't like, they could block and stop your personal social media. Now, what actually that means is if you're the only person managing that business page, you've just lost your business page and nobody can manage it. A scary one that happened to a friend of mine a while back is photography business. For anyone that's listening, this is not Jesse. Okay. He brilliant photographer. He's really good on his security. Photography business. He was the only manager of 4 different business pages that had thousands and thousands of followers, and he got lots of his work. He annoyed the social media account. His account got deleted. He called me up panicking, going, my business accounts. I've never set up anyone else to be an admin or a mod. What's happened to them? And I went, oh, I don't know. Don't know what happens to business accounts when there's nobody looking after them. I went and looked, and because I followed all 4 of these accounts, there was a button saying, take over this account. So what I did, because he's a buddy, I quickly took over the 4 accounts. I became the admin for them. And I locked them down as just mine, okay? Right. He then set himself up a new account. He set himself up a new proper account on there, and I made him admin. He then became the chief admin. Do this, okay? If you have a business account and you're the only person that can admin it, please, please, please put somebody you trust as an admin. What you can also do in most of the accounts is you can set how much control they have. You don't have to give them access to everything. They don't have to have purchasing rights and things like that. But they can mod comments, they can delete comments, they can kick people out, they can do loads of stuff as your business. But the main thing here is I do this one for my brother. Okay. My brother's an electrician, he's a brilliant electrician, and he's got pages on social media. I'm one of his admins. I never touch it. He doesn't want anything. He's got more than enough work. I'm just there as an extra security blanket. So if his account goes dead for some reason, I can take over, take control. He comes back in and gets control again. Right.
Yeah.
So
I was going to
that's
say, we
the,
get these nasty occasions where someone hacks into an account and then starts posting as the person. So
yep,
it makes even more sense to have another admin.
exactly. You think about that occasion. So if the person's personal account has been hacked, all of a sudden I'm admin on this account. What I then do is I go in, I stop that user from being able to see me before I start taking control of the account again, because they then can't stop me from doing most of the things I need to do. Okay. I then take over the account and I kick that person from the account. So all of a sudden, we've got kind of a fail-safe of how to retake control. Okay. All of these things, and the settings, the permission settings, I'm sure most of them come under a permissions list. I'll have to check for you.
Yes.
But the permissions for admins and mods is amazing. So you can have lots of different levels and lots of different things are allowed to do. And if your business is massive, it means you can then have employees helping your business accounts. And if they ever leave, it's just a case of unmod, take
Yeah.
them off admin. We're good.
I love the lateral thinking that. I'd never thought of it from that angle. Yeah, being able to get in and yeah.
Do you know what? I think this is why I'm getting known doing what I do. I don't look at the world in the way that most people do.
Mm.
I look at ways that I can bypass and get around things and not be seen. Yeah, it's great fun.
Yeah, it's great fun indeed. And because I'm not necessarily on social media, but I look for shortcuts. I look for a different way. Sometimes I go in a, I would say like a very naive route to solve problems, but then people say, well, that's so simple. And I
Yeah,
think it's just look at it from different perspectives, whether it's security or whatever, but just to look at it from different views and get in someone else's
seriously, mate.
shoes.
We got asked to look at a building and see if we could break into a building a while back. And this building was pretty good, but there was an alleyway down the side of it that there was a few too many windows on. And I said, look, you've got to put a fence up there. You've got to, make it secure, make it a metal fence, make it quite high and make sure I can't climb it. And, that will help. Because this access down here, also, a camera would be good just over there. Make sure that they look towards each other, then they cover each camera so I can't knock them out. It would help. Okay, yeah. About a month later, we get asked to go back to see the improvements. And for me, this was funny. For them, it must have hurt. But I've got to this building and I've looked at the fence that they've put up, and it was a lovely metal fence. Okay, it was strong as anything, but it went. The fence had 3 massive posts going up and down, vertical, and then lots of metal posts going left to right horizontally.
Okay, I'm seeing a ladder.
Yeah. I looked at them and went, "That's a nice fence," and they went, "Yeah, we're really proud of that." And I went, I can now climb to floor 2. And they were like, when you see a light bulb go on in the brains of loads of intelligent people where they just go, yeah, we've just built him a ladder to get to 2 other floors.
Oh,
Things like that.
yeah.
Okay. Because they were sold a fence that was solid.
Yeah, brilliant.
I probably wouldn't have been able to drive a truck through it. But even me in my unfit state, I can now get to floor 0, 1, and 2 quite easily. Some of my team could use it to get to floor 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah. We just don't think we do when we're so close to something. We don't see what could be glaringly obvious to people like yourself.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh, I love that. Have you got time to quickly tell us that story? And it is a story. And
are you on about my how can I put this before I tell it? The logistics company?
I think so, yes. And lorries were in it.
Yes, right. So we got.
Because I want people to remember what you're saying. If they remember this story, they're going to remember.
Yeah, and actually, this will be a nice way to finish. I don't know how much longer I'm allowed to go, but this could be a nice way to finish.
Go for it. Thank you.
Right, so we were asked to do a security check on a logistics company. So this company delivers stuff worldwide, okay, and they got loads of bases in the UK. And we were given carte blanche. We were told, attack any of the buildings. We want to know exactly what it is. We're just worried that security is getting a bit lax and people are getting a bit too relaxed. And that's quite normal for us, okay? And if they're relaxed, that makes it easier for me, to be blatantly honest. So we agreed the contract. The contract had 3 points in it. Number 1 was to gain access to their premises without being seen. Number 2 was to gain access to a building without being seen. And number 3 was to steal something of value. So all the time, my team always know the 3 contract points, and we get paid a bit more depending on how many of them we hit. So we see it as a game, because that's what we're like. Okay, we've got the game. We know what we're doing. We pick which of their depots we're going to attack by using the highly scientific method of, it was the one that was furthest away from a police station.
Sense. That's how a burglar would be thinking. Or...
Exactly. That's how a burglar would think. And I don't like being picked up by the police, even though I have a letter saying I'm allowed to do this. I don't want them involved at all. So we go for this one place. Me and my buddy, we drive around, and we're meant to just be doing a recce on this day, which is we're just looking at the building, seeing where we think we might be able to get in. So we've driven around it a few times. Big grey building, bit on the side that's got loads of their vehicles in, massive metal fence all around it with barbed wire. There's only one way in and out of that fence, and it's got a security hut, and it's got cars can drive in and out there. So we do a roll round, we have a little chat, we go and sit in a lay-by that's across from the access point, and we're watching this guy in the security hut. Now, every half an hour, bang on the half hour, he goes for a walk. And that's probably him doing his patrols, and he's checking the building out, making sure nothing has appeared. And we're kind of going, yeah, it makes sense, but he's got the only access point, so I'm not sure if that's needed. Okay, doesn't matter, but, we'll put it in our notes. Now, it was winter, and we've now been sat there from, we got there about 9:30, or I think it was. It was dark, and it was cold. And we're still watching this guy, and it now hits about 10 to 1. And we know this guy's going to go for a walk in 10 minutes. I mean, he was so spot on with the timing. You could have set your watch by him. He was brilliant. And my buddy looked at me, and he said the worst thing that you can possibly say if you're in a team of people that do this kind of stuff. And I know what all of my guys are like. But he looked at me and he went, I'm bored. We should do something. And I was like, well, okay, look, we know he's going to go for a walk. Why don't we let him go for his walk? We'll count to 60, and then we'll go and look at the security hut, and we'll have a look inside and see what they've got set up. And actually, it means we hit contract point number 1 tonight. So we're kind of ahead, right? Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, good. All right. Guy goes for a walk. We count to 60 Mississippi, and then we both run over. I take a little video of us going onto the property and into the hut. I don't think of a wooden shed as one of their buildings, so I'm taking this as we're on their premises, and I take it. We've hit contract point number 1. Now, the funny thing there is, we've now learned what the funny glow was that we could see from outside, and it's one of those little monitors, and it's got a split screen, so you've now got 4 security cameras on there, and it's static. Okay, those cameras don't change. There's no way to change those cameras, so we've just learned the position of all the security cameras in the whole building. Goodness. So we're now looking at this and going, well, that's helpful information. That's really good. Okay, yeah, nice. Okay. And then I looked at my mate and I said, possibly the second worst thing that you can say when you're on one of these jobs. And I said, well, we're here now.
Why not?
We might as well carry on. So we did. So the guy he always walked off to the right, and we worked out why. It's because he headed towards the main door and then had a walk around inside the building. So we went down the left. Now, we've already done a recce, and the left is where the big car park was. So there's cars, vans, trucks in this big car park. And there was, from the recce, we knew there was like 3 fire doors and a couple of those big shutter doors that vans and trucks can reverse into and get loaded. So we've gone, right, let's go down there.
Excited.
Yeah, we've gone running down there, hit fire door number 1, didn't open. Hit fire door number 2, didn't open. Hit fire door number 3, it opened.
You're kidding me.
Next to no pressure. And I've looked at this door, and somebody had wedged a bit of wood into where the lock should go. And they'd actually even rejigged the security to make the wires think they were connected. Yeah. So it's like, well, that's definitely going in the report. That's really bad. I mean, that's silly.
Unbelievable,
bad.
Almost.
Now we've opened up this door. I've taken a little video of us going into this building. We look around. In front of us, there's just racks of packages and parcels. So this must be stuff that's getting ready to be delivered tomorrow or soon. Okay, fine. I'll tell you a little bit about the guy I was working with. He's got a dubious background. Okay, I love him to bits. I trust him with my family, with my dog, with my daughter. He's brilliant. He's lovely. He just made some stupid choices when he was younger.
It does happen.
Yeah. Now, those stupid choices were along the lines of, he worked out that if he nicked laptops, he could sell them easily. Okay, so he's still got a bit of a thing for laptops because in his training days, he learned that they're quite small, you can fit them under your arm and you can get out somewhere quick. Okay, right. So he's still got a thing for laptops. And he looked at me and he went, I'm off to look for a laptop parcel, because he knows roughly the size and the kind of boxes they'll come in. And I went, nice one. Yeah, that'll be contract 3, something of value. Now, I think differently to that. When I think valuable, I always think of data, and I'm trying to nick information. So I've looked back along this wall that we run up the outside of, and down towards the end, there's a desk, and it's blatantly the desk that the person in charge sits at and makes the choices from. So I'm like, there could be valuable stuff in those drawers. I'm going to go and have a look. So I went up there, looking through the drawers. I looked up, and in front of me at about head height, there's one of those old lock boxes, a bright red lock box. And it's the ones that you used to see in car showrooms that had keys hanging in them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, in hotel foyers of old.
Yeah, and you know, they've labelled all of the keys and think, brilliant. Okay, so I've looked at that. Now, my favourite bit about this lockbox is the key to lock it was in the lock. So I didn't even have to search for this thing. I've just turned the key that they've left in it for me.
Very kind of them.
Up. Yeah, they're good to me, right? I've opened it up and there was about 52 vehicle keys in there. Now, I'm going to teach you something about vehicles. On the key fobs, they had the number plates of the vehicles. So, you know, if it's a bright day, that's really easy to find, right?
Yes.
I've then shouted to my buddy and said, don't worry about the laptop. We're nicking a car each. Okay, so he's come over and he's gone, yeah, I'm up for that. We'll do that. So we've randomly picked a key each. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what car you drive, but most vehicles now, they have these amazing buttons on them that if it's a late at night, you can just walk near the vehicle, press the buttons, and it will flash its hazard lights at you. Okay. So we've gone back outside. We're out of sight from the security guard who's probably back at his hut by now. And we're both just literally pressing the buttons while walking along and waiting for a blip noise and a flash.
Here I am sort of sound.
Yeah. So we did that. The downside was my key was for a massive truck. I'm kind of okay with this because my dad owned a haulage company. And if there are any police or authorities listening to this, I definitely have not been driving these things since I was about 10. Okay, because that would be wrong. Okay, that didn't happen. Right. I turned to my buddy and I said, have you ever driven one of these? And he went, no. And I was like, okay, you have to double clutch. So if you put it into first like normal, then when you're changing gear, you have to pump the clutch twice. So you put it down to take it out of gear, you put it down again to put it into gear. Go slow. And he went, yeah, all right, I'll be fine. So we've now jumped into these trucks. Okay, we've waited for the half-hour marker because that's when security guy will leave his post again. We counted to 60 Mississippi again, and I swear to you, this was the slowest you've ever seen 2 trucks drive out of a depot. It was ridiculous. We've driven these 2 trucks out. We've gone out the door, out the gateway. We've done a left, and we've followed the road round to the right, and there's a lay-by down there. And we've pulled into there. So we're probably not even half a mile away from where these trucks are meant to be. And it was a well-lit lay-by because, you know, if I park them there, I don't want them nicked.
No one's going to do it from you.
Yeah. How funny would that be? We stole some trucks and then they got stolen. Sorry. But yeah, so we've now jumped out the trucks and we've hit all 3 points of the contract in one night. Okay. So I've called their chief of security. It's now something like 2 a.m. Okay, on a winter night. He was in bed. I'm so sorry, but I had to call him.
Yeah.
Called him up and I said, we've got some information for you. We need to have a chat. What have you done, Paul? Where are you? What are you doing? And we said, right, we're at this depot. We were here to do the recce. Oh, yeah. How's it going? Well, it's gone really well for me, but not so good for you. And he went, what have you done? I went, well, we've nicked 2 trucks. There was then a lot of swearing on the phone. So he's like, so you've got onto the premises and no one's known? Yeah. You've got into a building, no one's known? Yeah. You've stolen 2 trucks? Yeah.
No one's
noticed. The truck's empty. I don't know. I don't know if they're empty. I'll be honest, when I was still in 2 trucks, I wasn't thinking, I'll check the back. Do you want us to check? And he said, look, they're going to be empty because everyone knows you don't put anything in them until the day of delivery. This is just ridiculous. Okay. I opened up the truck and in my truck, it was full of flat screen tellies.
Kidding.
Yeah. So some company somewhere had had a load of these tellies being shipped, and someone just didn't want to move them from the truck to the warehouse. Okay. Understandable. That's a lot of work over 2
human nature,
days,
for sure.
saving a lot of time, right? We opened up my mate's truck, and this is my favorite bit. It was full of laptops.
Oh, he got his dream
His
scenario.
laptops. And he's then looking at me and messing about going, can I keep one? Just one of them. No, we're getting paid. No. And, you know, we get... So the guy's still on the phone while we're looking at this, and he's hearing me and my mate kind of giggling and acting like kids. And look, we go away with this. And
Gets better and better, or worse and worse.
And he's getting madder and madder, and he's swearing, and it's like, dude, we've done our job. We're going to write a report up for you. What do you want us to do now? Now, you've met me a couple of times now, okay? And I would lay a bet that you would never say this to me, and anyone that's listened to this will never say this to me, okay? He said one of the worst things you can possibly say to me, especially when I've got an adrenaline rush going on, okay? He said, do whatever you want, Paul.
Oh no.
So that night we stole 8 trucks. Yeah. All of them were full of stuff. Now, if you take into account the value of the trucks, the value of the stuff, we think we stole more than £11 million worth of stuff.
I mean, thank goodness it was you guys doing the security check. That could have been anyone, couldn't it?
But this is it. So it's not just the amount of the stuff, it's the reputational damage turning around to all of those customers saying your stuff's
trust.
It would have hit the news. Something that a heist like that would have hit the news if it was real. Now, here's the disgusting bit, okay? To stop that heist, if you'd given the security guard an extra extension lead and a heater, he would not have had to go for a walk every half hour
to keep warm
because his bones were freezing, right? He could have been warm in his hut and kept an eye on everything that needed to be secure. Perfect.
Yeah.
Number 2, that fire door that was wedged open, I found out it was wedged open because all of the smokers got fed up of having to walk around the whole business to go through reception to then walk back around to be near the wall that they were at anyway, because that was where the smoking zone was.
Interesting.
So rather than doing that, they wedged the door open and they bypassed the security.
Totally understandable.
Yeah. But a lock for that, a pin pad lock or an RFID lock would have cost about 25 quid. So at the moment, for a heater, for an extension lead, and for a pin pad lock, we're looking at a total of about £50. Would have stopped me so far, right?
Yes.
My favourite one was the lockbox. If you'd just taken the key out, I wouldn't have been able to open it.
No.
For a cost of 50 quid in total, you would have stopped me and my team from getting into that building.
And I'm thinking, if that had really happened, would insurance even have covered it with such huge gaps in? That's another huge question. They must be one grateful company after they've recovered from the shock.
It's funny because, yeah, they're grateful. Then they're in fear of us. Communications can be very strained after you do a job well. Okay.
Yes.
But we have a couple of bits in our contracts. Number 1 is you are not allowed to discipline or fire anyone that we bypass.
That's fantastic. That really is good to hear.
Yeah, my morals say that's not fair. Okay,
No.
putting somebody who's potentially on minimum wage against my guys that are really good at what they do, that's not fair in the first place.
No, and they're probably only following their instructions anyway.
Exactly. Okay, and they're probably following their colleagues who have been doing this for years. So you're not allowed to discipline or fire them in any way, shape, or form. The only thing you're allowed to do with them is give them to me for training.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will do training with them, and I'll teach them the way that we think and how we bypass a lot of things. So hopefully that person who was then scared for their job because they've just found out £11 million has been nicked while it was your watch, right? All of a sudden they turn into the most powerful security member you've got because they've been trained by me and my guys.
Win-win. Just love it. Yeah. And
yeah.
Thinking of, and obviously your brain is thinking of all the potential consequences and making sure that people are protected, not just the property of the big or the small business owner. Amazing.
And this is it. And you think, well, the example of that fire door, the people who'd wedged it and re-rigged it so that it looked like it was always on, it means that you're actually trying to stop security issues that are being made by your own guys.
Yeah.
when your own employees are trying to bypass your own security, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have some rules. We have a lot of morals around what we do. And we do scare the bejesus out of people, but we do it in such a way that hopefully it'll be a lesson they will never forget.
Yeah, and I suppose credit to them for asking for it to be checked, because they wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah, I did have one security guy, chief of security for a big company, me, the owner of the company, and him in a meeting. And throughout the meeting, he just kept saying, "You'll never get in. You'll never get in. It'll never happen."
Oh wow, that's such a challenge.
Yeah, I know. So I said, "All right then. Well, I tell you what, I'll do this for 0 fee." And he went, "What?" I said, "The only fee is whatever I steal. So if I do manage to steal anything, my team can keep all of it, right?" And all of a sudden he went, "Oh no, I'm not agreeing to that."
Sure.
You don't seem as confident now.
No.
How about we do this on a contract term, and I'll work with you rather than against you. Yeah, and then and the owner of the company literally laughed when I made that offer, because the security guy just backpedaled.
Yeah.
And he just laughed and he went, "Yeah, we'll get you to come in and help police, Paul." So, awesome. Do that.
It's the best way, isn't it? Cool. So I think the takeaways today, and again, thank you so much for your time on a Saturday morning.
Anytime.
I think the takeaways, thank you, are the password manager, multi-factor authentication. I can't even say.
Authentication.
Thank you very much. Thank
Quite
you.
right.
And that word very often, obviously, that's my bad.
No.
Are you still doing your public speaking as well when you get a chance?
Yeah. So I get I know I'm a lucky boy and I love what I do, which is the main thing. I get corporates who ask me to come in and give talks to all of their employees, and I scare them and entertain them. And we've proven that it stops a load of scams very, very quickly. But because I think there's a lot of organizations that need our help that can't afford our help. So what we do is we charge the big corporates quite a lot of money. And then that means I can go and do talks for the WI or for LinkedIn local groups or for other networking groups that can't afford to bring speakers in. And I kind of look at the big fees that I charge corporates and I go, right, that pays me to do 2 talks over there as well.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, just keep an eye on me on social media. If I'm near, I try and tell people roughly where I'm going to be. Start of July, I think I'm in Bromley Football Club doing something for a bunch of accountants, and I think that's an open session.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much. And I say, when listening in, watching the video on YouTube, checked in the show notes, all Paul's links will be there. And let's listen to the advice, because whether we've got a small business, modest business, or with a much bigger company, or even as an employee, let people know, because you're there to help, and the advice is there, and it's user friendly. We can understand what you're saying. It's not hidden behind walls of technology and tech speak, I'm trying to say. So thank you very much, and thank you to your family for letting us steal you for an hour or so. Much appreciated. And
that's all right. That's what I tell you. I love my family to bits, right? They're awesome, but the one who's going to be most upset is the dog. He's the one that will be like, "Where have you been? How dare you?"
Well, while we were talking, I could hear my 2 kitten cats trying to break in, but my security on this door was quite good and they didn't make it through.
See, now I want to play with the cats, actually.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you so much for joining the Online Entrepreneur Academy today. It was my pleasure to host you, and thanks for a fun, entertaining and very informative session. Thank you very much.
Seriously, thank you so much for inviting me. These kind of things, I think they're massive. This helps a lot, because if this just stops one of your listeners getting scammed by someone, I'm the happiest boy in the world.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Thank you.